Alright everybody, welcome to a game with the Liquid TLO and EG Incontrol. These are two of my favorite players. Liquid TLO is going to be spawning in the 3 o'clock position as the blue Terran, and Incontrol is going to be spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the red Protoss. Again, I am your broadcaster, DerkovRenault-Le. These are still trial runs, so I am going to go ahead and try and get everything. This is actually from the MLG Dallas. I do believe that this is a best of 3, and these are pretty much going to go ahead and be blind casts. Since they're going to be blind casts, I don't know who wins, and I'm just going to kind of go from here. Be honest, tell me what you guys think. And really quick, we actually currently have the opener of the just your traditional pylon, then scout. TLO is actually going ahead and putting his supply depot in his mineral line. That can actually go ahead and be beneficial, especially if you have a zealot or a stalker trying to run through the mineral line, or even a probe. It can actually really help, so you can sometimes even lock the probe in or wall that off. And Incontrol's being a pest, and he's going to go ahead and steal a chunk of 5 minerals. TLO is going to go ahead and throw down the barracks, and Incontrol is going to go ahead and try and harass the SCV. Looks like they had a small pause here in the middle. Unfortunately, since this is not a live game, it is a replay, we don't get to see the pauses. Incontrol is going to go ahead and have his probe still scouting around in the base. TLO is going to go ahead and scout. Looks like that they both scouted in the correct direction, and it doesn't look like that either of them have touched the Xel'Naga watchtower. It looks like Incontrol is still going to go ahead. Looks like he's going for a standard pylon, gateway, and then gas. TLO is going to go ahead and get a good scout in, and he can see that the Chrono Boost is currently being used on the Nexus for more probe production. It's not being saved up. And Incontrol transfers 3 probes very quickly. And Incontrol still actually has his probe alive in TLO's base, and it's doing quite well. Still has 15 health, 10 shields. A Marine is on the way to go ahead and shoot that probe away. TLO decides not to go ahead and chase that probe down. Both players do currently have their still original scouting worker alive, and it looks like that, yep, TLO is going to go ahead and lose his SCV. Losing your scouting worker, you almost always do, but if you can save it and kill theirs, that does put you 1 up on your economy. It is still relatively even because this worker still has not returned back to mining. I can only presume that it's going to stay there and either to throw down a pylon for a potential 4 gate, or possibly go ahead and try and sneak in there to get a little bit more scouting. TLO is going to go ahead and move out, and he does see the probe. He's going to go ahead and he's going to try and pick off the probe for Incontrol. Incontrol is going to go ahead and try and save that probe, and the probe gets out. TLO goes ahead and moves back to his base. He does have 3 Marines, and it is currently 22 Harvesters to 17. Incontrol is going to go ahead and take the Xel'Naga watchtower. That'll actually tell him if an attack's coming from TLO, especially by ground, for any type of early Marine aggression or any type of pressure. Incontrol is getting a stalker. He's getting 2 stalkers, and he's also chrono boosting out his warp gates. He's just added on a robotics facility. This is a very bold play. With any type of early aggression, TLO could break Incontrol. Incontrol is also going to go ahead and get a pylon in the smoky area, which is an awesome place for drops, because you can actually surprise your opponent if you don't have this area blocked off. Really quick, it does look like that Incontrol is going the 1 warp gate robo, and now he's actually adding on a 2nd warp gate. Back at TLO's base, TLO does have 6 Marines. He has a Hellion, and he's getting another Hellion. This is a very interesting build. He's very light on gas, and TLO is just throwing down supply depots. He hasn't covered his drop area. He moves out and he takes the Xel'Naga watchtower, and the probe runs away safely. It looks like the stalker will go ahead and reclaim it and snipe off that Marine. But that may cost the stalker its life. 1 Marine for 1 stalker, not necessarily an even trade, but TLO has gone ahead and tipped his hand. So Incontrol does know that there are Hellions on the field. He doesn't know if there's actually going to be a blue flame, or if he has to worry about a drop in his mineral line. Incontrol does have 2 sentries out in order to go ahead and force field ramp to buy him a little bit of time. And it looks like that Incontrol actually has an observer in TLO's base, and he's getting an immortal. I don't know if the Immortal is going to be actually the best idea, just due to the fact that he has the Marines, and the Immortal just does not pack the same punch that it does against Marauders. TLO is trying to focus down. TLO does get the 2 sentries, and there goes the probes. The probes are going to run. They do not have blue flame. Sometimes it's actually just better to go ahead and leave your probes mining, because as soon as they run away, they do go ahead and bunch up, and it just makes it so much easier to kill. And TLO manages, he almost manages to save the weakened Hellion. Incontrol was currently supply blocked until TLO went ahead and ate all of those probes, nummy probes, and it has, the harvester count is evened out. It's now 26 to 18, and it looks like there was just kind of a lone Marine there. And here come 2 more Hellions into the back of Incontrol's base. TLO has gone ahead, and he has just absolutely obliterated the probe line. There's only 3 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, and an Immortal to deal with this kind of aggression and pressure. And TLO does manage to go ahead and does manage to save the Hellion. The Hellion can outrun the Stalkers, and if he saves that Hellion and is able to repair it, he can go ahead and can use it for another drop. Incontrol still has the Observer in TLO's base. He's starting to actually get off a really good scout. TLO's adding on more barracks and also another command center that he's now just morphing into an orbital command. TLO's playing a little bit more defensively, and it looks like that he's actually scouting for any type of hidden expansion with that very wounded Hellion. TLO actually has a bunker that he's salvaging that was kind of right here, probably for a defensive bunker, and it does look like, yep, the Warp Prism is currently out, and Incontrol is doing a drop into TLO's base. He's actually, and if TLO does not see this, TLO can be in a lot of trouble. He only has 2 bunkers worth, and here comes Incontrol. Incontrol is moving, and he is going to go ahead and try and take this on. TLO only has a handful of Marines and SCVs. He's going to lose a lot of his economy. He is just going to lose a lot of his economy. The sentries are going to go ahead and provide the additional firepower or protection for the Stalkers, but it looks like that TLO is going to be able to go ahead and clean this up, but at what cost? He has lost so many of his harvesters. And it looks like that there is still just the 1 Stalker in his base, and the Warp Prism does manage to go ahead and get out safely. That was an excellent drop play by Incontrol, and he has just turned the tides of this game. He's even the harvester count up, but since TLO does have these mules, it will help him out for at least just a little while longer. TLO does see that the Warp Prism is currently moving across the map because he does have the Xel'Naga Watchtower that he's holding with that Hellion, and TLO also has the other Hellion here at the natural expansion to see when and if Incontrol tries to expand. TLO does not have that many forces left, but it does look like that he is preferring a Marine heavy build. He currently has Stem Pack in production, and I don't know what this Warp Prism's doing. The Warp Prism may be used in order to provide another drop warp and some units in order to do some damage to the little one. But right now it's just chilling, and the little one doesn't see it. The little one is able to go ahead and recover his economy fairly quickly because he does have the 2 command centers as well as 2 sets of mules that he can keep calling down. And here's an interesting play. We have a Banshee, but Cloak is not currently on the way. And then there is another Banshee that is in production. TLO just finished researching Stem Pack, and he's now getting combat shields. And it looks like the Incontrol has gone ahead and thrown down his expansion. The dropship actually got a really good scout off. He knows that Incontrol doesn't have a whole lot of forces, and Incontrol is forced, even though he doesn't know that the dropship is empty, to try and ward it away so that TLO can't do any more damage to his economy. If you go ahead and you take a look at the supply, it's 60 supply to 50, so TLO does have a very commanding lead. Looks like TLO is going to go ahead and grab his Natural. He's going to Maynard. Looks like that he's just moving his army in kind of one big army. And here come the mules that are going to be called down. And TLO did get a very good scout off. TLO knows what kind of unit composition that Incontrol has. He knows that Incontrol is currently very Stalker heavy. Only has a couple sentries, and he just warped in a Zealot. Now it's going to be interesting to see what this Warp Prism does here. The reason being is because the Warp Prism, he can go ahead and he can warp Zealots into the back of TLO's base in order to cause TLO to go ahead and pull back. It's a very common drop tactic that a lot of players use, and it also gives you the versatility to be mobile at the same time. Looks like that Incontrol is going to go ahead and he's going to try and move out. TLO does have 3 Hellions. Looks like these two armies are going to meet, and Incontrol is going to go ahead and he's going to back out. The Banshees are going to be able to do a significant amount of damage. There's a dropship and a Raven. The Raven has 200 energy almost, and the Raven's going to be able to throw down a point defense drone to block all of those Stalker shots. And this is going to be huge. This is going to come down to if Incontrol can go ahead and hold out, and Incontrol GG's because of the point defense drone. And TLO is the winner. Thank you very much for joining for me with this broadcast, and I will go ahead and be broadcasting Game 2. Thank you very much, and have a great day.